Hi, it's Carter, the president of Constitutional Rights PAC. ConstitutionalRightsPAC.com. Go there and subscribe to our morning newsletter, and every day you get a private email from me in the afternoon. Okay? Inside scoop type email. Comes in a variety of forms. Sometimes it's a podcast update, sometimes it's a daily update, sometimes Coffee with Carter. I think that's what I sent out today. But it's an update. It's an update on what's going on in the world, and a little, maybe a little insights into what's happening and why it's happening, what's going on behind the scenes. And that brings me to why I'm doing a second video today. I already did my video vlog this morning, but I just saw the news. It's kind of bothersome. Matter of fact, it's real bothersome. About Juan Orlando Hernandez, former president of Honduras, being sentenced to 45 years in an American jail because he ran a drug cartel. And, you know, those of you who know me by now know that I own a beautiful beach home in Honduras. Crazy about it. Gorgeous gated community. My front yard is the beach. And my wife is from Honduras, okay? I was telling a gentleman today, my wife is the only Honduran legal immigrant in America, as far as I can tell. So I have close ties to Honduras, and I'm very bothered by the incarceration of Juan Orlando. Now, does that mean I support drug pushers or drug kingpins? No. But I want you to ask yourself something. How would we feel if the Honduran government arrested Joe Biden and hauled him off and stuck him in? No, let me correct that. Because I think I'd be thrilled. Donald Trump, and hauled Donald Trump off and stuck him in a Honduran jail for 45 years. I think we'd have a little problem with that, wouldn't we? I mean, one government going and arresting the former president of another government. I mean, we hauled him out of there in leg irons and handcuffs and stuck him in our jail. And there's something wrong with that picture. There's something wrong with that picture. We don't seem to have any problem with Zelensky, a true dictator who we know has stolen money we've sent over there as aid. The CIA chief Burns went over and told him to stop. We don't have a problem with that. You say, Carter, he's not a dictator, he's a president. No, he's not the president of Ukraine. His term ran out in March. He is the dictator who has sent 500,000 young Ukrainians to their death, probably pushing 600,000 right now, because they're losing about 1,000 a day, because he would not sit down and talk with Russia about disputed territories that he had been sending missiles into, the Donbass, and killing Ukrainians who really were Russians and supported Russia. He was just killing them for years. So let's not act like we didn't do something exceptional here, because there are plenty of dictators around the world that we haven't laid a finger on. But this man, we did. And so you have to kind of go back a little bit. Let's go back. How did Juan Orlando Hernandez get to be a drug kingpin? Well, in 2008, the United Nations published a white paper saying Honduras had no endemic drug problem and did not allow drugs to pass through. That was in 2008. UN white paper. In 2009, a man named Manuel Zelaya was elected president. Um, he became very close friends with Hugo Chavez, who was running a drug cartel out of Venezuela. And then, and he had announced he was for democracy and all that to get elected. The poor Honduran people went for it. After which he announced he was actually a socialist. Then he decided he would violate the Honduras Constitution, which restricts presidents to one term. Stick with me here, please. And he would go ahead and seek a second term. Then he had ballots pre-marked brought in from Venezuela, working with Chavez. And then the Honduran people rose up and they impeached him. They impeached him. Now, Honduras by this time was filled with drugs. They impeached him. Their Supreme Court voted to uphold the impeachment. Their Congress voted to impeach him. Their Supreme Court upheld it. Their Congress had a majority of Zelaya's party. Their Supreme Court had a majority that had been appointed by him. But the people of Honduras were so protective of their democracy that they impeached him. What happened next is interesting. Barack Obama and his Secretary of State, one Hillary Clinton, lashed out at Honduras like banshees, cut off all aid, even cut off baby formula that had been sent there to help their children. And demanded Zelaya be put back in office. Well, the Honduran people are pretty kind-hearted, so Zelaya had left and gone to Nicaragua by this time. They told him, come on back, we're not going to do anything to you. We impeached you, a legal process. So he did come back, went back to being a very wealthy landowner. Let's fast forward it now. Who replaced then Juan Orlando as president about 2 years ago? The wife of Manuel Zelaya. And if you ask the Honduran people, they will tell you Zelaya is the president again. Now, there's something wrong with this picture. There's something wrong with this picture. Something very wrong with this picture. What role has the United States played in sticking in the governments of Honduras? What role did the United States play in putting in and keeping in and becoming livid over the impeachment of a man who teamed up with Hugo Chavez and during his administration turned Honduras from a country with, according to the UN, no drugs to a drug-infested country? Why is the United States so supportive of Manuel Zelaya? Why have they arrested Juan Orlando? Juan Orlando denies that he was a drug kingpin. His brother was, and his brother did get arrested. I think he might even be dead now. But what's going on here? And what role? We need just some questions answered. And will any reporters go interview Juan Orlando and say, what happened here? Did Juan Orlando do something to this? What did Juan Orlando really do to displease the U.S. government to the point where they seized a former foreign leader and stuck him in our jail? Real quickly, think back, Noriega, the last Central American leader we did this to, the Noriega of Panama, stuck him away where he couldn't talk about anything that had gone on in his country, including the drug problem. It's time to ask some questions, and we damn well should hear some answers. Stay tough.